Hey everyone, this is Jin Hua here, also known as the Ninja Jedi. Today I have a really important topic for you, and something very foundational for everything. So for personal growth, for spiritual growth, for any type of growth, right? Any type of thing where you get from point A to point B, and that is change. Because if you don't think about change, if you don't think about your personal growth, then you're going to stay where you're at. It's going to be a flat line, right? And then you're never going to be, it's like stagnant. But actually, in reality, if you don't change, if you don't move forward, you're actually moving backwards, because there's no such thing as anything being still, being at one spot. Even if you look at the molecular level of like anything, atoms and things like that, there's something always constantly moving, right? And even rocks that we look at and we think that, it's something that it's just an object that doesn't move. Well, if you zoom in, you go in the microscope, or I don't know what type of devices they use to see at the molecular level, well, you'll see that things are constantly moving. So that's why I believe that change, the only constant in life is change, and that if we don't master change, if we don't understand what change is, then we're actually not going to get to where we want to be, and then we're going to, we're going to move backwards. So today's topic is, I'm going to be sharing something of how I perceive change, and how I am able to get really good at change, where I can just change in an instant. I can change my mindset in an instant. If there's a situation where I feel down, a situation where I feel I don't know, angry or frustrated or some type of negative emotion that I don't want, I can actually just snap out of that emotion, and then I will have the right mindset. I can actually imagine myself to be somebody that I want to be, and then boom, I just snap my finger, close my eyes, I just breathe a little bit, and then I can turn into the person that I want to be. So today I want to show you guys how to change quickly and how to master that, and what is the importance of change. Now, why do we want to master change, right? Well, why do we even want to change? Well, like I said before, if there's somewhere you want to be and you're not there right now, then the reason why is you're not making the changes necessary to get there. Now, in one of the videos I did before, I talked about fear, and how if we can overcome fear, then we can move closer towards our object. But even overcoming fear is actually making a change. So today I'm going to show you how to not only change your life and change your circumstances, but also to make it last, right? Because a lot of times we make a change one time or something, and we think that, hey, I did it one time, and we think that we're done. It's like, oh wow, finally I'm done. But that's not the case. See, if you want everlasting change, then here are a few steps I'm going to be sharing with you. So if you watch this complete video, maybe close the doors, just give it your full undivided attention, so that once you understand change, then man, you can do anything that you want, because that is the basis for life. Okay, life is change. Life is evolution. If we don't evolve, we devolve. I don't even know if that's a word, but it sounded cool. So I actually have some notes on here. So if sometimes I'm looking at my notes, I can't remember all of this stuff, but I want to make sure that I have all of these really important points, so that you get everything that you can. Okay, I want to give you as much value as possible, because this will help you become a better person. So this will help you become stronger. This could help you become emotionally stronger. If there's some type of relationship, you have issues or whatever, this will help you fix relationship. This will help you reach your financial goals. This will help you live the dream of your dreams. Okay, live your dreams. Like right now, I'm traveling the world. I didn't think that I'll ever travel the world so fast, but it's because I understand how to overcome fears. I understand what fears are, and I understand change. So without further ado, I'm getting right into it. So first thing is that you need to acknowledge where you're at. Okay, in order to change, you need to know where you're changing from. If you don't acknowledge, if you don't accept where you're at right now, if you don't accept and accept, like, what, there are things that I can improve on, right? If we think that we're perfect, if we think that we're never wrong, then we're not gonna change. Right? That's very, very, very important. So I think the best way to ask yourself, well, do I need to change, right? Well, here's a great question that I like to ask all the time, is look at your life right now, right? Is the life you're living right now, are you happy with it, right? Are you satisfied? If this is all you get right now, are you satisfied? Now, if the answer is yes, and it might be, right? It might be, yes, yeah, I'm great. Well, cool. Then you don't have to change, right? Because why fix something that isn't broken? right? Now, of course, with that quote, I would, counter that with, well, even though it's not broken, I want something better. So I'm going to constantly improve because, I want more and more and more, right? Not to say being greedy, but hey, life, we can grow, the more I grow, the better I become, then the more lives I can impact. So that's number one. Acknowledge where you're at, accept it, because you can't change anything that you do not hold in your hand. And also, change yourself before changing other people. So I know a lot of times we're trying to like change other people, and we think that they're the problems. We start pointing fingers, right? But what's wrong with pointing fingers? Well, I'm sure you guys heard of this. If you point a finger at somebody, well, you have 3 pointing back at you, right? So this is a concept that was really difficult for me to understand. Actually ruined my relationships in the past, where I kept pointing, I started blaming my ex, and then I found out that, hey, you know what? Even though there's, we all have room for improvement, right? So I'm not perfect, and no one's really perfect, right? And because of that, if I work on myself, then through my living example, I can influence other people to change. And that's also another thing. It's like, when we want to make an impact on another person, it's not through our words, okay? Not only through our words that are gonna give the message, is actually through our the way that we live. So through our the way that we live, we are basically a living message to other people. So if you can learn how to become better, and then you become the living example, then that's how you can influence more people to change. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's actually a little off topic of my steps here, but I think that's a really important point, is to change yourself first. Be the change that you wish to see in the world, right? That's another quote. Be the change that you wish to see in the world, and then that's how you change the world. You become that person first, and then everybody else will follow. So the first step was acknowledge where you're at. Number 2 is to identify your goals and your intentions. Now, if we want to change, we need to know what point A is. Point A is where you're at. Point B is where you're gonna go. Or maybe maybe it's like point F or something, right? And that's where we want to go, but we still need to know where we're going to go. Because if you don't have an intention, if you don't have a goal, you say, well, where do you want to go? Well, I don't know. Well, you're already there. If you don't know where you're gonna go, you don't know what you want, then hey, you're here. Do you like it here, right? Maybe you do. Or maybe you want something more. Maybe there's something more that the purpose of why you're here, there's more to that. So make sure you know your goals and you know your intentions. There's actually another video that I've created. It's called The Secrets of Manifestation. And actually talk about intentions, how you set your intentions, and how you can start attracting the things that you want in your life. So that's number 2, identify your goals and your intentions. Now the third step is taking action, right? But it's not just taking action one time, because a lot of times when we try to make a change, we take action one time, and if we only take action one time, well, then it's not sustainable. Sometimes we say, oh, well, I did it once, and then I'm satisfied. No. If you want to, like for instance, if you're trying to change your diet or something, maybe you might be a person that have been trying to eat healthier, right? Maybe you've been a person trying to work out, more often, or work out every day, or work out X amount of times a week, or maybe you're trying to read more. I don't know, whatever it is that you're trying to create a ritual, right? But you haven't been doing it. Well, the reason why is because we haven't made it into a ritual yet. We haven't made it a must. Change, to create everlasting change, we must make our rituals a must. So whatever it is, we have to put the things in place. Okay, I forgot what it was called. It was something like the inevitability plan. Well, that was difficult to say. The inevitability plan. And what that means is that we set things in place so that to ensure that our actions are inevitable, to ensure that our rituals are inevitable. So actually, one of my good friends, Kimberly, we actually met in one of the events met in Chicago, and then now we actually talk back and forth on Facebook, and she has her blogging business and things like that, and she wants to be able to blog every day. I'm like, hey, why don't I become your accountability partner? I introduced the idea of the inevitability plan. Is basically, hey, if you don't do it one day, if you don't send me the links to your blogs every single day, then I'm going to, well, you can choose if you want to pay me, right, or write me a check or something, and then I'll cash it if I don't get it. Or she suggested to send, I probably shouldn't even say this, maybe like embarrassing picture, and then if she doesn't do her blog post, then I'm gonna like send it. I'm gonna like blast it all over the place. So I thought that was really funny, and because of that, she has been running her blog posts every single day. So just to let you know, that does work. Okay, maybe we just need a little boost. All right, so that was step 3, which is actions. Create rituals, right? Rituals for actions, and creating new habits on purpose. All right. So that is, those are the 3 steps. Now, why don't we, what are some of the things that prevent us from change? That actually gets back to fear, right? Fear of, being judged, fear of failure, okay? And here's one thing, here's one fear that I never really thought I had in the past, but then I realized that, maybe about a few months ago or a year ago, I actually had this fear, which is fear of success. I don't know why we have that fear. It's like, man, what if I get all this success and then I have all these responsibilities, right? It's like, man, with success comes great responsibility. I think sometimes we're afraid of this responsibility, and therefore we stay stuck and we stay where we're at. So again, it's really important to identify the things that are that we're fearful of, and one way to identify these fears. And again, this is a little bit off topic of what this topic has changed. But one way to identify what your fears are is imagine what it is that you want to do, right? Imagine the goals, imagine the dream, right? The big target that you want to hit, and then when you imagine it, all right, start taking action towards it. Just do it. Now, if you don't do it, right? If you don't take action towards it, now it's time to dig deep, right? Dig deep down inside and figure out, why am I not taking action on it? Now that, my friends, right there, if you can figure out, if you can master that, you master identifying what those fears are, you will change a lot. Like your life will be tremendously like night and day. All right. Last thing, okay? Looks like the sun is setting a lot over here, so I should probably wrap this up, but I want to make sure I give you guys good content here. All right, last thing is, how long does it take to change, right? A lot of times we're like, man, it's going to take forever to make this change, right? And therefore, because the thought of that is going to take forever, we don't even take the first step, because we, like, for instance, we see like this huge mountain and we're trying to climb, right? We're trying to go hiking, we're like, man, that is crazy, right? We just look up and like, no, man, that is long. And because of that, we think about like the step all the way at the top. We don't even want to take the first step. And what I'm here to say is that, yes, you know what? Take the first step. So going back into how long does it take to change? Now, learning to change is actually a skill, okay? That's one thing that I never really thought about before. Learning to change is actually a skill, and once you learn how to change and change faster. So, okay, so here's a good way to gauge where you're at with your skill level, right? Well, where is your skill level of change? And that is, how fast can you make a change? How fast can you change your state of mind? How fast can you start to create a ritual and follow it day after day after day? When the time frame between your intention and also the action, okay, when that time frame decreases, then you know that that you have, you've increased your skill level of change. Now, one thing that I realized in the past, or one of the mistakes that I made in the past, was thinking that change would take forever. And only recently that I realized that change can happen in an instant. Change can happen in an instant. And that is where you make, what is it? When you get better at living life, okay? When you get better at living life, you get better at change and making a change, and also, and get better at changing and shorten that time frame between your intention and change, then I believe that you are mastering this thing that we call life. If life is evolution and you can master this evolution, if you can master how to constantly grow, and every day you're constantly growing and growing and growing, well, everybody is at different places. So it's not, success is not determined by your destination. Success is a journey. Okay, success is not a destination. Success is a journey, and when you master the journey and you can learn to live in the moment in the journey, you have mastered life. And when you master life, it's so it's epic. Okay, I don't know what words to use other than that. It's like epic. You feel happy, you feel joyful, you feel like, man, I got this thing down. You feel like you're in control, because whatever you want to do, whatever dreams you have, and you know the actions you're going to take, and you actually take those actions, then of course you're going to feel powerful, right? So guys, focus on your change, focus on growth, because once you do, okay, and you master change, then you become the master of life. So with that, I will leave you guys. Since the sun's going down, you can probably hardly see me right now. And currently I am in Denver, Colorado. It's pretty nice here. One of the biggest parks that I know. If you got a lot of value from this, comment below. If you have questions, comment below. I would love some feedback. Like this video, share this video if you find it valuable. Of course, you can add me on Facebook if you have any questions. Just send them to me, because I would love to help. I would love to give my insight on it. Of course, I'm not saying I know everything, but I have a lot of experiences that helped a lot of people, and this stuff is fun for me. I love doing this. So that's basically it, guys. This is Jinwoo here. Signing out. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.